Psychosocial disability is a term that's in my world's been around for probably 3 or 4 years. To me, it means if you split up the psycho, meaning that there's some sort of mental illness or psychiatric impairment, and that is then affecting a person's social abilities, engagement in communities, appointments with professionals, other things like that. One thing that I'd like to see change a little is, not that I've seen a whole lot of LACs, but the LAC's understanding of psychosocial disability, so that they have a broader understanding of difficulties, because sometimes people with a mental illness can present quite functional in society and intelligent and capable and things like that, but that doesn't mean that they're always like that. And I don't think LACs know that well enough. My mental health, I tend to want to isolate and from society and my family and everyone. My mental illness convinces me that that's the best thing for me, whereas really it usually works in the opposite way, and it usually makes me become more unwell. I had to disclose a lot about my personal mental health and my personal situation to my LAC. It was also quite anxiety producing because I had to get the right documentation from professionals, and that's not always an easy process, to get your psychiatrist to write a report that's going to be suitable for the NDIS, and are you going to have it in time and things like that. So the stress of trying to manage getting professional reports necessary to apply for the NDIS. At the time I was in and out of hospital and fairly unwell and trying to do it all myself. And then when I eventually got my package, it was very, very small. So what I did then, at the advice of my support worker, was put my plan back in to get reviewed with some more documentation attached to it, to hopefully get a bigger plan. So if I didn't have my support worker, and I know not everyone has one, but I wouldn't have got the package, I don't think. They were able to direct me in the ways that NDIS saw things and interpreted things, and what they really meant by questions, and what language and terminology should I use in order to get the package. Also, I had pretty good support from my psychiatrist when, his first 1 or 2 documented letters were not really what we needed. He was able to do another one without too much hassle, so that helped. The way that I use my plan is that I was seeing a psychologist several years ago who was really good and effective. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to go anymore, so the NDIS pay for me to have psychology once a fortnight, and I also get assistance with activities of daily living and domestic assistance. I get 2 hours a week of that. So managing my NDIS plan, I'm not having the organisation do it, and I'm not doing it fully myself. I've taken the road in the middle. So I work with an organisation, and what I do is, when I get the receipts for the psychology or the domestic assistance, submit a claim all on my phone, really quite easy, and then within sort of usually 3 to 5 days they've reimbursed my money. But if you can afford the upfront, then that runs quite well, and I prefer that system over the other 2 options available, because I think if I decided to run it myself, because my illness is quite episodic, there would be times when I would not be able to manage it myself. Your documentation's the make or break, and you do have to get a lot of different sources, so put a bit of work into that part. But if you can get a support worker through one of the NGOs or the public health system, even if it's just for the period that you're applying for the NDIS, I would suggest doing that.